Ryan Martin. I'm Andrew Della Piana. Thanks for sticking with us on Cape League TV. The Doors in front, 4-3 through 5. And the Firebirds counter with a new arm on the bump. It's the lefty, number 4, Roman Tazi, the rising senior from the Catholic University of America. The transfer from Arizona State from Pennsylvania. Scheduled to face 7, 8, 9 of the Falmouth lineup. Tazi, a solid sophomore season, sub-5 ERA, a 6.3 record. After not getting much playing time in his freshman year with the Sun Devils. First to meet him is a fellow lefty. It's David McCann, who has 2 walks entering his third at-bat of the night. First offering from Tazi. McCann pops it up and tails over our heads down the third base side and just past the third base side of South Orleans Street.
So I'm talking about that. South Orleans Street can be dangerous, barely getting into the trees. That passing truck was going maybe 25 miles an hour, could have had its windshield going.
The 0-1. It's a breaking ball. McCann all over it and jolts it into center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. In the first hit of the season for David McCann, who's been all over the baseball today. But a pair of walks, now is 1 for 6 on the season. It's a leadoff single.
And his third appearance of the season, McCann was without even getting on to first base in either of those first 2 appearances. So he gets those 2 hard-earned full-count walks and finally puts a barrel to ball and gets one just into center field for a base hit.
That's the first hit for the Doors since the 2-run home run by Harrison. First pitch to Landon Moran, lefty on lefty, is called for a strike. Moran 0 for 2 with a strikeout back in the first, fielder's choice to end the third frame. The 0-1 is a fastball taken outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. You touched on a little bit earlier, Ryan, the return for Moran, though, to Orleans, where spent 30 games, one of a dozen Stetson players to play in the Cape last season, including Isaiah Barquette for Falmouth. 1-1, another breaking ball, and a half-hearted swing by Moran went around. He was really fooled on that one.
And what was really interesting to hear when we were talking about Moran of how many Hatters were here, he was speaking on how many incoming Hatters were in the Cape last season, and it made getting down to Florida even that much easier, knowing each other already a little bit more.
He said Delray Beach, they're a nice small community that cares a lot about baseball, the 1-2. Below the knees, 2 balls, 2 strikes. He said he liked having that comfortability of that being a baseball town to let you thrive a little bit more with a nice little fan base down there in beautiful Florida. 2-2 from Tazi. Breaking ball is yanked to right field. Moran got all this one, and it is out of here. Landon Moran, a 2-run shot to right field. How about 2 on the night for the Doors? Falmouth back in front by 3. It's 6-3 Doors in the top of the 6th.
Well, Andrew, you'd wondered where the bats were for Falmouth across the first 3 games of the season. They might be right here at Eldridge Park in Orleans. The first 2 homers of the season, and on that swing from Moran, also the Commodores up to a season-high 6 hits and a season-high 6 runs.
Take on the first pitch from Carl Schmidt from the right side after another 2-run shot. How about this? Both Bear Harrison and Landon Moran both going .339 on those home runs. The 1-0. Schmidt taking a big hack at that one. Swings right through the fastball.
Identical distances, and we talked about it a lot in our preseason roster previews. These catchers can be special under first-year field manager Jared Saltzlamacchia, who knows a little thing about catching and swinging a bat.
1-1. Breaking ball. Smith pokes it out first base side and foul. Of course, under the tutelage of Jared Saltzlamacchia. 12 years in Major League Baseball. A World Series champion back in 2013. It's pretty good to have a guy learn from him, right?
I think he's a decent guy to learn from. We were talking about Trot Nixon earlier. Don't remember Trot a lot. Definitely remember Salty when he's with the Sox.
1-2. Smith gets another piece of it and puts it back to the screen. A huge sigh of relief, though, Ryan, in this Commodores offense that was really struggling for the last couple of innings, and then a nice jolt of energy from Moran to belt it over the right field wall. Another 1-2 from the lefty. Another tough take from Schmidt on the other batter's box. 2 balls, 2 strikes from the lefty Roman Tazi. It's 6-3 Commodores in the top of the sixth. Nobody on base and nobody out. Here's the 2-2. Way up and in for Schmidt. Has to turn his back to it and has worked the count full.
There's been a couple times today where Carl Schmidt has turned that lead left shoulder just to get out of the way of a pitch. Has not been hit yet, but doing a good job avoiding so.
Antonio Morales waits on deck, the leadoff man. Schmidt 1 for 2 in today's game with a double. Payoff pitch. Yanked into left field. If it's fair, it's gone. And it is foul. Just barely. The Doors bullpen believes it's gone. Schmidt takes a long look around home plate.
And that Doors bullpen, Andrew's got the best view of maybe anyone here in the park there on left center field to make the call on that one. And at the end, it was the third base umpire and Mickey Garcia who calls it a foul.
Another payoff pitch. It's a breaking ball outside for ball 4. So Carl Schmidt almost had a home run. He's got a walk instead.
And you almost never see that. There's close calls on balls and strikes, or if it's fair or foul on a chopper down the first or third base line. But on those home run calls, you really, it's usually more cut and dry than that. But anyways, it's going to be Carl Schmidt who's on first base with a walk.
And Kelly Nicholson going out to take the ball from Raman Tazi, and we will get a new Firebird on the bump after a short break. Commodores leading 6-3 thanks to a 2-run home run by Landon Moran. We'll be back on the other side. You're listening to Commodores Baseball on Cape League TV.